Desmond, Camden piano rescue.
About the highest piano concert in the world today, getting you two together just to have a little chat about it. So here we are, Evelina, Desmond. So I'm just going to start off by asking you, how did you first meet Evelina?
Well, I was working in the back of the workshop, and then suddenly I heard this wonderful music, which sounded very special. I mean, I am used to concert pianists coming here. They do pop in, but suddenly I heard something very special.
And what do you remember about your first meeting with Desmond in the shop?
Well, I walked in looking for a piano chair, and then I saw this wonderful piano, and I just sat down and I started playing Chopin Nocturne, and then Desmond heard me and he came out from the back, and that's how we first started talking.
All right. And there must have been something about her playing which enticed you to invite her to play the highest concert in the world?
Well, I'm honoured that she's chosen to adopt the course and try and join us in it. But yes, there was something special, because the only other time I ever heard Chopin interpreted like that was in the days of my grandfather, who was a leading pianist at the time. But that would have been 45 years ago, so I haven't heard anything since then in that special style. We hear lots and lots of classical music, we hear many, many fine pianists, but her interpretation, which is a classical with flavours of jazz interpretation as well, is something rather unique. So I'm honoured that she's decided to toil up the mountain after we got the piano there.
Thank you, Desmond.
Wow.
Back to work now. Yeah.
All right. Wow. So there's real sentimental kind of feeling towards Evelina and her playing.
Well, my grandfather was, as I said, one of the leading concert pianists of his day, and he was chosen to. He was so good. He was chosen to go on the Titanic. But my grandmother had a dream that it would sink and hung onto his legs, wouldn't let him go. So it's his band that, was playing, and he lost his band. I knew of that from family history for many, many, many years ago, before the film ever made it popular. That made the subject matter understood by so many. But yes, he had a very special style that people could instantly recognise, and I hadn't heard it for 45 years since he died. So there must be somewhere in your line of instruction from whoever taught you from somebody presumably who taught them that would have been of the same era as 1912 in the time of my grandfather?
Yes, I think so, because my mom was my first teacher, and she was a stunning, stunning teacher. She taught me everything I know, and she learned from a very special woman called Bertha, who was already probably about 75, 78 years old when she was teaching my mom in college, and that was the 60s. So Bertha would have been around in, early 1900s, and she obviously had an extremely special school of thought and special school of music, and she taught my mom extremely fine understanding of music, and this is what my mom always strived to give me. Not just playing notes, not just the brilliant technique, but the interpretation, the story behind every piece, the story about every passage, the story about every composer. So it wasn't just musical education, it was an overall culture that music is part of. So this is where I think I get it from.
So, Evelina, you're quite a renowned pianist. You've toured across the world. You've played for some amazing people. What inspired you to support this cause, Desmond's cause?
Well, the first thing he told me about how he took the piano to introduce to children in Maputo, children who've never seen an upright piano before, and he took the piano all the way to Mozambique, and he showed the kids how to play it, and he showed them piano scales, and that's the first thing he sent me, is a link, the video of the piano in Mozambique. And it was so inspirational. And the next story was about him taking piano up the mountains in Ladakh. That's where we're going. And also playing for children, introducing piano to children. And this is my passion. My passion is to introduce piano music to as many people as possible. And here in the West, we're quite privileged. We can play piano almost every day, most of us. Most of us choose not to. But here's this amazing, incredible journeys that Desmond took all across the world to deliver piano to people and children who otherwise probably would never even seen an instrument, let alone got a chance to play it. And when I found out he tuned the last piano in Chernobyl, I just couldn't believe it, because I was born in Soviet Union, now Ukraine, and the story of Chernobyl is extremely close to my heart. So as soon as he said, "Would you like to go on a mountain?" I said, yes.
We're both going to be delivering a gift to them once the highest concert has been finished.
Yes, the piano will end up in this environmental college that does this pioneering work, and they love the idea of having music and tuition to the local children. So
every time you do a journey you bring a gift, and you may possibly have an audience of college youths from SECMO, which is the school for the environment.
And every year I can go on go there once a year to tune it. So I go 4,500 miles there, 4,500 meters up in the air, up the mountain, tune the piano, 4,500 meters down again, and 4,500 meters home. So I can claim that as
miles.
I can claim that as the longest service call in human history.
A bit about what you plan on doing out there musically.
Right. When Desmond first told me about this project, I couldn't believe how elated I was to tell him that my album is called Soul Journey. And I just thought, is there the most perfect way for me to complete this journey that I've been on with this album for 23 years almost. I started writing this album when I was 17. I've completed it a few years ago. I've released it in 2015, and I always wanted. I had an album launch in the Royal Overseas League in front of Buckingham Palace, but I always was missing this part of the journey related to this album. This journey that I went through to have it written, produced, arranged, composed. And when he said, we can go on a mountain and you can play your album, I thought that was my ultimate soul journey. I was just, I got goosebumps because of how beautiful it all kind of sounded and how logical it was for me to play my album there. I'll play a few more things. I'll play some classical music, I'll play some Gershwin, I'll play your grandfather's theory piece.
Yes, Warsaw Concerto.
Warsaw Concerto.
Yeah. Can you play that?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.